Hello everyone, my name is Pukar Dhital. I'm an English instructor and today we're going through the chapter Expressing Reasons of Grade 5. So let's begin the chapter.
So let's begin Unit 2, chapter title, Expressing Reasons. So to begin with, let's first observe this picture, okay? So this is a simple exercise and I first want you to observe the picture in the classroom. Look at this boy. What do you think is he doing? And again, look at these number of students here. See, they seem very happy. And finally, again, look at the third picture. Observe the picture, and then we will observe the question and answer here. A. Why is he weeping? Meaning, why is he crying? He's weeping because he has lost his book. Why are they so happy? And now, why are these children here so happy? They are so happy because they have won the tournament. Finally, why are they so excited? They are so excited because they are going on a picnic. Now remember, the title of the chapter is Expressing Reasons. So in all this question, there's a very good reason why the boy is weeping. Why? Because he has lost his book. See? Why are they so happy? Because the reason is they have won the tournament. Why are they so excited? They are so excited because they are going on a picnic. So you see, the chapter is all about how, in what manner, can we express the reasons? We believe that everything has a reason. So in what way do you express such reasons? Now, let's go further. Now, on the basis of what we did earlier, we can make similar conversation, giving a good reason. So first, let's make a question, and then let's express the reasons. Absent yesterday. So it could possibly be, why were you absent yesterday? Possible answer is likely to be, I was absent yesterday because, now here is his reason, because I missed the bus. See? Now similarly, let's look at number 2. Why did you go to the bank? What do you think the possible answer can be to this question? I went to the bank because I needed some money. See? So this is how we can express the reasons. 3, baby crying. The possible answer is hungry. Of course, you can, for certain, do this in the classroom. Let's move further. Now, let's have a look at this chant. I like the mountains because there are lots of fountains. I like the birds because they steady my nerve. I like the plains because there are lots of tame. Okay? Observe as I read this chant, observe these rhyming words. Fountains, mountains, birds, nerves, plains, and dames. Okay? I like the mountains because there are lots of fountains. I like the birds because they steady my nerve. I like the plains because there are lots of dames. Now, let's try to answer these questions. Alright? Now remember, the answers lie right here in this chant. Alright? So to begin with, let's start with number 1. What is the long form of cause? So here we go. Answer is, by the way, this must be noted to you. You must note this down that, well, sometimes in the poem, or if you're writing story, and COS cause might be acceptable, like how it's used here in this particular poem or in this chant. But the thing is, try to avoid such writing. Try to avoid, you shouldn't be writing cause in general English or in formal English. Okay, this is rather informal. You have to write, okay, we'll let you know what that cause stands for, but please, you shouldn't be writing cause. So what is the long form of cause? The long form of cause is, what do you think is the long form of, why easier? Look at this, this auxiliary verb, don't change it, don't take it to was here, alright? Answer it as asked in the question here, okay? The long form of cause is because. And you should always use because and not cause, by the way. Again, let me reinforce you. Always use because. You cannot write cause. Don't write cause. Sometimes if you're writing a story or a poem, well, to a certain extent, yes, the form cause can be acceptable, like the one it's accepted here in this poem or chant. But in general English, in formal English, when you write English, always use because. Anyways, right now we've answered it. The long form of cause is because. Now let's look at number 2. Number 2, why does the man like the mountains? And look at the auxiliary verb. It's asked in simple present, does. Always bear that in mind, okay? So if you read the poem again, I like the mountains because there are lots of fountains. So he likes the mountain because there are lots of fountains, okay? Usually, in most of the cases, answer begins from the question. Always remember that answer always begins from the question itself. Okay, so here you go. Why does the man like the mountain? The man, because here is does simple present, we take this like to simple present. The man likes the mountains because there are lots of fountains. Okay, now in a similar manner, I want you to do number C. What do the birds do? Look at that. I like the birds because they steady my nerve. Okay, so the answer lies right there. The birds steady the poet's nerves. See? And finally, why does the man like the plains? The man, again, does simple present, likes the plain because there are a lot of dames. Again, the answer lies right there in the chant. You can do it in the classroom. Let's move further. Now we have an amazing story here. I'm sure you all love a story, don't you? Now, before we go with this story, I want you to first observe the picture. Look at this. What do you see here? A beautiful picture. And here we have, what do you call this? A crab. And here we have a crane. Okay? Be a good observer. Observe the picture. Take some time. And then after observing the picture, you can say to a teacher or to a friend that what you can see in the picture. Now, have you done that? Let's observe these two questions here again. What do you see in the picture? See, just like I asked you just now. What do you see in the picture? Take a time to tell your teacher what have you noticed in the picture. Okay? And for the number 2, we'll come back to that question in a while. So let's read the story. The title of the story is A Lazy Crane. Once upon a time, there lived a crane by the side of a pond. It was lazy and wanted to eat the fish in the pond without having to work for it. So one day, the crane went to the side of the pond and looked sad. It did not try to catch any fish. There was a wise crab in the pond. He asked the crane why he looked so sad. The crane said that he had heard some fishermen talking about catching all the fish in the pond. That was why he was worried. He also said that if the fish wanted to be safe, he would carry them to another pond every day. See, a very clever crane. So what has happened in the story so far? There's a crane, there's a crab. Let's assume they are friends. And he pretended. Now, see, there's a saying in English, no one serves you free lunch. But he, the crane, wants to eat the fish without having to work hard for it. And he has this very clever idea. Okay, and see, he brings forward this idea and he creates this story. See, the story is right here that he created. When the fish heard the crane, they were happy and wanted to go to the new pond. So every day some of the fish went to the cranes. The crane took some fish each day in its beak to a large rock where it ate them and left the bones there. So see, a very, very shrewd crane, a very clever crane. With his vicious idea, he's eating all the fish in the pond or off the pond. Let's move further. The crab saw the fish becoming less in the pond, and it also saw the crane growing fatter. It began to wonder whether the crane was really helping the fish, so it asked the crane to take it to the other pond. The crane agreed to do so. It carried the crab and flew towards the rock. When the crane came near the rock, the crab saw the fish bones and knew that the crane was lying. The crab was very angry. It tightened its claws around the neck of the crane and it snapped its head off. The crane died. The crab crawled back to the pond and told all the fish about the lies the crane had been telling. So see, it's in a way, a crab punishes a very shrewd, very cunning crane. He punished him in a rather horrible manner. See, it snapped its head off. It literally chopped its head off with its claws. Now discuss this story with your friends, all right? Now, remember I told you earlier, there was a question there, and the question was, number 2, why were the fish happy? Now, before you look at this answer, all right, on the screen, maybe you can first write your own answer. And again, we take care of the auxiliary verb here. The fish were happy because they heard the crane saying that he would carry them to another pond for their safety. See, the fish trusted the cunning crane. This is the story. Okay, look at this. Match the words with their meanings. Okay, so maybe the best idea would be to number it. Let's say, for instance, I'm going to say it A, B, C, D, E, and F. Now, remember, you're matching the meaning, okay? Match the words with the meaning. What do you think crane means? Does it mean held firmly, very sad, broke, a 10-footed water animal? A bird with a long neck, it eats fish? Is that crane? Or people who catch fish? So here you go. A, crane. So it means a bird with a long neck, it eats fish, okay? Similarly, let's figure out the meaning of tightened. What do you think tighten means? Tighten means held firmly, see? Snapped. What do you think snapped might mean? It might mean broke. So you see, take help of the dictionary and do the rest of the match the followings. Okay, so let's move further. Now, this number 6 person, the grammar person, you see, make sentences from the table. Okay, so how are you going to make sentences from this table? Like for instance, look at number I. Remember, these are all the reasons, and you'll have to give a proper reason to this statement here. All right. So I went to the dentist because, why do you think people go to dentist? Is it because he was caught in the traffic jam? I had a toothache. The old one was torn. So he wanted some fresh fruit. The line was busy. He had no license. What is the best possible reason? The reason is I went to the dentist because I had toothache. See? So just connect this statement to these reasons and give the best possible reason. Every statement has one best reason, and you'll have to figure that out. You can take your time and you can do it in the classroom. It's pretty simple, all right? I changed my dress. What do you think is the best reason for that? The old one was torn. See, this is how do the rest of the following. Now that I had already read the passage, let's look at this question and answer here. All right, answer the question. First one is done right here already. See, so where did the crane leave? Remember, we always have to take this auxiliary verb in our mind. All right, we just have to consider, we always have this. In this case, it's simple past to make sure that the verb that follows is affected by the auxiliary verb. We have to take this verb to simple past when we answer it. Now, when you look at the passage, the very first sentence, in fact, you'll get the answer. Where did the crane leave? The crane lived by the side of a pond. Look at number 2. Why was the crane sad? And to get the answer, remember, read the passage time and again to answer this question. Why was the crane sad? Okay, to answer this question, why was the crane sad? Actually, this question is a very vague question. Remember, the crane was sad because it wanted to drag the attention of a crab. It was not sad actually, it was it's a strategy to get the attention of the crab. Or else it was not sad in itself, okay? The crane was sad because it wanted to get the attention of crab and the fish. It pretended to be sad actually. And if you're right, the crane was sad because it wanted to eat the fish in the pond without having to work for it. Well, it could also be correct, but the thing is that, you know what, but then the sentence continues, so one day, meaning the crane, we have to understand the crane planned to be sad, okay, so that it would get the attention of the crab and the fish. Remember, all the answers lie right in the passage, okay? Who wanted to know why crane was sad? Very simple question, isn't it? Answer it. Maybe you can raise your hand and answer to your teacher. So who did you say? Yes, crab wanted to know why the crane was sad. Okay, that would be 4. How did the crane want to save the fish? 5. Most of the times, the answer begins right from the question. So you can begin from the crane wanted. Again, it's did here, take it to simple past. Wanted to save the fish by carrying them on its beak to the nearby pond. Okay, the answer lies right in the passage. Where did the crane take the fish? Finally, 6. When you write the answer, you begin from the crane changes to took the fish. So again, read the passage to get the answer. The crane took the fish in its beak to a large rock where it ate them and left the bones there. So that's where actually the crane took the fish. 6. Why did the crab have a doubt on the crane? Again, you begin from the question. The crab had a doubt. Or you can simply write the crab doubted on the crane. Because, see, the last paragraph will get the answer. Because it noticed the fish becoming less in the pond, and it also saw the crane growing fatter. So see, That's the answer to number 6. All the answers lie right in the passage. You can take a time and do it in the classroom, okay? And read the passage time and again to answer questions. Remember, the chapter title is Expressing Reasons, okay? So now here, add suitable reasons to these expressions. I read a newspaper daily. So what do you think you can give a reason? What kind of reason do you think you can give to this particular statement? I read a newspaper daily because I want to know what's happening around the world. See, I read a newspaper daily because I want to know what's happening around the world. Number 2, one more, I'll do it for you. She earns much money. So what do you think could be a suitable reason to this particular step? See, she earns much money because of her hard work and determination, meaning she's determined to do something remarkable. Okay, now number 3, okay, give a suitable reason to this. Okay, I'm hungry. Reason again is yours. Because I have not eaten since morning. It could be anything. So let's move further. This you can do it as a homework. Number 7, change into the ing form. So change all these verbs which are given here into ing form. And now the example here is given. Right would be writing. Pretty simple. Just to add up to your knowledge, sometimes this is also what we call verb 1, verb 2, verb 3, verb 4, and verb 5. So just for your knowledge, all right? So if I say verb 1, let's say, for instance, verb 1 would be go, all right? So its verb 2 would be go, went, 3, gone, 4, going, and finally verb 5, goes. Okay, just bear in mind, it's not that you have to recite this thing, all right? This is just one of the concepts, okay? So if it's fly, verb 1 is fly, verb 2 would be flew, verb 3 would be flown, verb 4 would be flying, and verb 5 will be fly. So it's just one of the concepts which I wanted to bear in mind. So this is more like saying change this verb into verb 4, right? Which is ing, see? But if you find it easier to remember as ing form of the verb, that's okay. So similarly, the book says arrive. So it would be arrive, arriving. And then it goes from here. Cycle. This is dance. Then we have drive. Excite. Have leave. Let's move further. Then we have make. Then we have take. Then we have love. Then we have change. Move, come. So what you do is, as you do it, right, ignore this E letter at last in all these words, and then it will be CHANGING, changing. See, this is how you can do this. So you can do this from itself. All right. So we have one of the reading exercises again. Have a look at this. Read and act. So one of you can become a teacher and the other one can become a student. Teacher says, teacher. So see, a student has arrived late. Late again? Sorry, sir, says the student. Teacher, what's your excuse this time? Meaning this student is often late. That's why the teacher says, what's your excuse this time? Student, it was because I had to cook myself. Teacher, you're good at making excuses. Student, I won't be late again, sir. Teacher, okay, take a seat. Student, thank you, sir. So this is just a general conversation between a teacher and a student. And you see how humble a student is here. See, he's freaking with the word here. Sorry, right? And he promises to his teacher, I won't be late again. Again, sir, at last, trying to make it formal. Okay, take a seat. And again, the student says, thank you. So it's more like being formal. Teacher. So now, I'm sure many of you here write crossword puzzle, don't you? So bearing that in mind, here we have one of the exercises here, see? Now, find the plurals of these words in the puzzle box. So which words are these? We have to find the plurals of book, cat, city, bag, wife, lady, bus, calf, bus, ass, fly, mango, library, and apple. First one is done for you, book, books. Now look for cat. The plural of cat would be? Can you find cats here? Well, I found one right here. So just circle it. Figure out the plural of city, bag, wife, lady, boss, calf, bus, ass, fly, mango, library, and apple. I'm sure you can do it on your own. If you need, you have to take the help of the dictionary, right? Now, if you're wondering about the calf, again, do one for you. Calf, you can go for the calf. Rest, you can do it as a homework and help from the dictionary, of course. 12. Read. Now it says read about Kumari and write similar paragraph about Ani. Okay, so here what's given in the book is Kumari, 11 years, not meet, not kill animals. So these phrases are given here, which we'll have to change this to a proper meaningful sentence. Okay, sinful, animal rights. So this is how it's written here. My name, Kumari. I'm 11 years old. I do not eat meat because, and it gives a reason here, BCA, because you have to kill animals. So to eat meat, you have to kill animals. Now she thinks it is sinful. To add to it, she says, in future, near future perhaps, in future, I work for animal rights. So see how these word or phrases given here have been changed into a small paragraph. My name is Kumari. I'm 11 years old. I do not eat meat because you have to kill animals to eat meat, and she thinks it is sinful, and in future I'll work for animal rights. In a similar manner, now you can work for Ani here. This you can do it as your homework. Ani. Be creative. You can feel free to add words. Learn to play with the words. Hello everyone, my name is Ani. I'm 12 years old. Do not like fishing. Now, this guy here, a boy perhaps or a girl, she does not like fishing. So you can say, I do not like fishing. And give a reason why you don't like fishing. And he says, kill fishes. What? Kill. Because to go fishing, or fishing simply means you have to kill fishes. That's why perhaps Ani doesn't like to kill fishes or fish. Okay? Now he thinks it's wrong to kill. Now he's going to run a campaign. I will run the campaign, Save the Fish campaign. Save the fish. Now your task is to change this to a wonderful, sweet paragraph. Alright? Do not hesitate to add words to it and make it more meaningful, make it more creative. Like one, I can read it for you. Hello everyone, my name is Ani. I study in grade 5 and I'm 12 years old. Or maybe you're in grade 6. I study in grade 6 and I'm 12 years old. Well, every people has different hobbies and I have my own. My hobby is to draw. And I see people and I've heard people who have I find it very weird hobby. That is, they like to fish. They want to go fishing. But I do not like fishing because that means you have to kill fishes if you want to go fishing. And to kill an animal is, to me, not good. I think it's wrong to kill any animal. That's why I think in the future, when I grow up, I want to run Save the Fish campaign, where I will create an awareness as to why we should not kill fishes. Okay? So be creative, learn to play with words. This, of course, you can do it as a homework. Thank you very much. And if you have any queries, feel free to email us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thank you very much.